Hi everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the neuroanatomy. Specifically, I'm going to speak about the brainstem. This is the brainstem. As its name suggests, it acts like a stem and brain sits on top of this. So this is the brainstem. I'm going to use this model and show the external features of the brainstem from different view, anterior view and posterior view, by drawing and showing and demonstrating the specific features on this model. So brainstem from anterior view and posterior view of brainstem. So brainstem is comprised of three parts. So as you see here, brainstem at the top is made up of this one, midbrain. In the middle you can see this fat boy is pons, which is more prominent than the others. And at the bottom we have medulla. So anterior view, we have two highways like this. They are called cerebral peduncles. So cerebral peduncles, they act like a highway, and you can find them on the anterior view of the midbrain. Midbrain. Then at the middle, we have this more prominent structure, which is called pons. And down here, you can see medulla oblongata. So this is a medulla. In the midline, we have anterior median fissure. This is the anterior median fissure, which continues down as the anterior median fissure of the spinal cord, because below the medulla we have a spinal cord. On either side of the anterior median fissure, you can find two bumps. They are called pyramid. And on the lateral side of the pyramid at the top, we have two another bumps. They are known as the olive. This is the olive. Now I'm going to show you on this model the details of these structures. So as you see here, on the top we have two cerebral peduncles. This fat boy, which is more prominent than the others, is pons, and down here we have medulla. So in the midbrain, these two highways are known as the cerebral peduncles. Peduncles, cerebral means brain, ped means foot, peduncles means small foot. They act like a small foot, and brain sits on top of these two. And here is the pons, and down here, this is the anterior view of the medulla. This fissure is anterior median fissure, which continues down as the anterior median fissure of the spinal cord. On either side of this fissure, we have two bumps. They are called pyramid. This is the right and left pyramid. At the top, we have two another bumps. On the lateral side of the pyramid, we have olive, and this is the left side, olive. So what about the posterior view? The posterior view of the midbrain, you can find two bumps at the top, two bumps at the bottom. This is the midbrain from posterior view. They are called superior colliculus and inferior colliculus. Superior colliculus and inferior colliculus. This is the midbrain. Below the midbrain, you can find a diamond-shaped structure. It makes the fourth ventricle. Actually, the floor of the fourth ventricle is known as the rhomboid fossa. Rhomboid fossa is the floor of the fourth ventricle. On either side of the rhomboid fossa, you can find three bumps. One of them is the biggest one on the lateral, the other one is the small. So this one is the superior cerebellar peduncle, inferior cerebellar, and the biggest one is middle cerebellar. Middle, superior, inferior peduncle. So don't get confused. We have two cerebral peduncles on the anterior view of the midbrain. Now these peduncles are known as the cerebellar peduncles. 6 small feet connecting the cerebellum to the brainstem. So imagine that here posteriorly we have cerebellum. They're connecting to the brainstem via these peduncles. That's why it's called cerebellar peduncles. The more lateral one is the biggest one. It is called middle cerebellar peduncle. The more medial, at the top we have superior, at the bottom we have inferior cerebellar peduncles. So, and then down here we have the medulla. Here is the pons, and this one is called the posterior view of the medulla. So you can find here two bumps and two lateral bumps. Two medial bumps are called gracile tubercle, and laterally we have cuneate tubercle. Gracile tubercle and CT is cuneate tubercle. They contain the same name nuclei, gracile nuclei and cuneate nuclei. So just keep in mind, the lower half of the fourth ventricle is part of the medulla. That's why this part of the medulla is known as the open part. But when it goes down, the fourth ventricle gets narrow and makes central canal, and then it continues down as a central canal of the spinal cord. So here is the central canal. So here is called the closed part of the medulla. Up here we have open part of the medulla. I'm going to show you the details of these structures from posterior view. So this is the posterior view or dorsal view of the brainstem. So you can see two bumps here, superior colliculus, and this one is called inferior colliculus, superior, inferior colliculus of the midbrain. And if you look at here precisely, this is the rhomboid fossa, the floor of the fourth ventricle, which is filled with CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Upper part of this, part of the pons, this is the pons. And lower part is part of the open part of the medulla. On either side of the rhomboid fossa, you can see three bumps. The lateral one is the biggest one, which is known as the middle cerebellar peduncle. The more medial one at the top we have superior, at the bottom we have middle cerebellar peduncle. Imagine that cerebellum is here, which covers the fourth ventricle, and it's connecting to the brainstem via these three small feet or cerebellar peduncles. So down here, I'm going to show you the medulla. Here is the open part of the medulla, and this part is closed part. Just below the fourth ventricle, the medulla, the closed part of medulla, you can see two bumps. This one is gracile tubercle. The lateral one is the cuneate tubercle. Thank you so much.